At first, like, people would be like, you're going to North Korea, isn't that scary? I was like, what? What are you talking about? Hello, my name is Yuna. I'm 19-year-old from Israel. Nice to meet you. So today our topic is how countries teaching about Korea at the time and how they teach it nowadays.
Like 10 years ago, did you know about Korea at the time?
10 years ago? How old was I? 9. It was like very different. Like 10 years ago, I kind of knew but didn't know about Korea. Like I was aware of like anime culture, and then my friend introduced me to this like Korean song, and I was very like, what is this? Like kind of like, it's cool, but what is this? Like that. I didn't really know it was Korea. I just knew it was like this cool music video that I saw like that. That was kind of it, and we weren't taught about South Korea or North Korea, like anything about Korea. So it was literally like non-existent, like that. At first, like, people would be like, you're going to North Korea, isn't that scary? I was like, what? What are you talking about? And I was like, excuse me, ma'am, do you know what you're talking about? My mom didn't care. She was like, yeah, go, pursue your dream, you can do it. Yeah, some people were thinking I was going to North Korea, and I was like, okay, see you there, like, I don't know. Like a few years ago, even celebrities, when someone asked them, what do you think about South Korea K-pop bands? And the celebrity would go and be like, I don't support North Korea. There's a video of like a lot of like American singers saying that, like kind of responded to the question because they didn't know, but I think now they probably know more. Now it's more known, especially because BTS like won so many like things in Billboard, I think. Yeah, and they have like huge ass fan base, that's it. Russia's Interfax news agency reported that the ROK Army's first field force commander, Cho Jong-so, will visit by goodwill by the 3rd. However, the French AFP news agency misinterpreted the arrival of North Korean military commander. AFP quoted Interfax as saying that the North Korean delegation will have the opportunity, and they thought it was North Korea. That's very awkward. I think they should have done research because they are also like publishing it. India reported to the United Nations that it imported high-tech precision machinery, electronics, and new material-related products from North Korea in 2008. It was like South Korea instead of North Korea. Well, that escalated quickly. Again, that's like very awkward. The fact that like you don't know who you import stuff from, which is kind of odd because you should, because like you pay for it. So I don't think they did it on purpose. It's just they didn't think there's a difference. Like they weren't taught that much, so they thought like, oh, Korea, so Korea is Korea, right? Like that. So basically those articles are like, the first article is like 15 years ago, what? And like this one is like 12 years ago. I would understand if it was like before 2000. Okay, like that's understandable because there's not really social media and there's no Google and stuff like that.
Most popular type of liquor or spirits in the world.
Soju?
Listen, it seems unanimous that the answer is vodka. By far and away, the answer is C. We're living in a college town where it seems like one of the favorite pastimes is drinking. How many of you have never heard of soju, alcohol? Look, spirits, of the brands of spirits, really fascinating to me, that especially in a place where, which means if we don't know that people around the world, massive quantities, something very simple, especially for us since we're experts, think that we understand anything else. Who can tell me what those two numbers are?
BTS views?
Particular, if there's an American
Really?
in here who knows this, I would really listen to this. There's the band. So they surpassed in 24 hours, my friends. They surpassed the record set by All-American Taylor Swift. I want to say, of their song, like whatever this hit song is. Dude, 45 million in 24 hours. Listen, it's striking to me. We live in a very insulated world that we live in this class is bust us out of the insulated world. We want to think about ourselves as citizens of the world. If we want to walk out into the world as Penn State students and be competitive, in particular, who are studying business and studying finance. You don't know things like who these guys are, you're not going to compete. It's a different world. If you want the edge, this is the stuff you got to know.
It's kind of understandable that they don't know what soju is because, like, for example, if you go to Israel, no one would know what soju is. And it's not due to the fact that they're not trying to expand their views. It's just that, like, they have something they're used to, so they don't even think they need to find other stuff. Usually you would just stick to something you like, so it's kind of understandable that they don't know those things. But because they're in marketing, they shouldn't know about soju, but they should know better, like about the BTS. I think if you're doing marketing, you really need to look at the influences. Like, even if they're from different countries, when they broke the record, it was like everywhere. If you're in marketing, you should know those kind of stuff because in the end it affects you and how you're marketing stuff. That's what I think. If I would introduce, I would first show music videos to impress, kind of be like, hey, you see this broke a record, you see they're cool, like that. Because usually if you just introduce a new subject with a boring line, be like, oh, this is South Korea, so people would not be interested. But if you be like, oh, this is a band, oh, it's from South Korea, oh, it broke a record, like that, so it's kind of more interesting, oh, they broke a record, oh, what are they, maybe I should listen, like that. Usually music or food is what makes people interested in other stuff. I think around 10 years ago, Mama EXO, I think it was the first thing I ever saw. So when I saw it, the visual effects were so cool and I thought it was taken from a movie. So I was trying to find that movie, but there's no movie. It was different from what I was used to because usually the singers would just sing and there's no storyline usually, but from what I saw it looked like a little maybe movie or something like that. I think it's just the perception of people and also the production quality. Also phones. Before Samsung would be like, what is that? But now when my friend asks for advice, she would be like, oh, so what should I buy? Samsung, iPhone, usually in the options Samsung would be. They would say Samsung or LG, like that. So it's more open to the world and more people can see that. With coronavirus, oh my god, I wish people would take what Korea is doing. Korea didn't stop and it didn't get to lockdown. For example, they closed a mall nearby me for 1 week. The business didn't stop. There is more faith in the government kinda than in other countries. If you take America for example, it's kinda really messy and they're not doing stuff and the president is not helping them. Whereas here, Koreans trust more. Okay, everyone has to wear masks now, but it's to protect me and you. Because in other countries, a lot of people are complaining, oh, I don't want to wear mask, it's too taptape, I don't know how to, I can't breathe with that. In reality, you can breathe with that. I think Korea would advance more because people care here more about other people than in other countries. Where in my country, we would not do that. Okay, we're sick, so we're going. There's nothing bad about that. That's something Korea is doing very well, especially now. I think Korea will change in the future more because the production and the quality is going up, whether it's K-dramas or music videos, and also the way they treat viruses. It's not that the virus is gone, but you can see Korea is in a better place because there was no lockdown. Okay, so today we talked about Korea's perception in other countries back then and now. So I hope you liked the video. If you like it, don't forget to subscribe and comment, and I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye!